There are the smart strategies and safety gear that keeps us safe while we are doing our job. Now, let's dive into 30 controls or precautionary measures that help us stay safe and sound in these deep excavations, trenches, pits, or tunnels. But don't forget, you are on the platform of safety first life. Safety control number one: obtain necessary permits. Before commencing any excavation, ensure that you have obtained all required permits and approvals from relevant authorities. For example, for a construction project involving deep excavation, the project manager obtains the necessary excavation permits from the local building department. Similarly, where you are excavating, you need to take permission, approval, and permits from the utility owners, the service providers, before commencing any digging or excavation. This is safety control number one with respect to excavation safety. Number two, conduct a site assessment. You need to perform a thorough site assessment to identify potential hazards and plan for safety measures. For example, a site assessment reveals the presence of utilities and unstable soil, prompting the need for protective systems. Number three, identify and mark underground utilities. You need to locate and mark underground utilities to prevent accidental strikes and associated hazards. For example, utility marking indicates the precise location of gas lines, water pipes, and electrical cables in the excavation area. This is most important for excavation safety. Otherwise, you can meet with any unexpected potential workplace accident. Number four, plan the excavation thoroughly. As a project manager, as a construction manager, or a safety manager or engineer, you need to develop a detailed excavation plan that includes protective methods, entry exit points, and emergency response procedures. For example, an excavation plan outlines the use of sloping and trench boxes to ensure worker safety. Number five, choose appropriate protective systems. Select and implement suitable protective systems such as shoring, sloping, or benching, depending on soil conditions and the depth of the excavation. For example, in a deep trench excavation, shoring systems are installed to prevent soil collapse. Number six, ensure proper ventilation. In excavations with the potential for toxic atmospheres, use ventilation systems to maintain safe air quality. For example, a confined space ventilation system provides fresh air to workers inside a deep excavation. Number seven, wear suitable personal protective equipment, PPE. Ensure workers wear appropriate PPE, including hard hats, high visibility clothing, safety boots, goggles, and gloves. For example, workers inside an excavation wear hard hats to protect against falling debris. Number eight, provide emergency rescue equipment. You must have emergency rescue equipment such as harnesses, retrieval systems, and first aid kits readily available for use in case of accidents. For example, a confined space rescue kit is on site in case a worker needs to be rescued from a deep excavation. Number nine, establish safe entry and exit points. Ensure safe and secure entry and exit points such as ladders or ramps for workers inside trenches deeper than 1.2 meter. For example, a ladder is installed in a trench to provide a safe means of entry and exit. Number 10, conduct regular site inspections. You need to schedule daily inspections to identify and address safety concerns promptly, reducing the risk of accidents. For example, a site safety officer, a supervisor, conducts daily inspections to ensure the shoring system in place is secure and effective. He can also make sure permit to work requirements are enforced and the workers they are equipped with personal protective equipment. You are on the platform of Safety First Life. Today we are discussing about top 30 effective safety control measures, how we can prevent excavation collapse, cave-ins or strikes to underground utilities. This training session is about excavation safety. Excavation safety control number 11, monitor weather conditions. As a safety practitioner, as an excavation supervisor, keep a close watch on weather conditions, especially for rain, storms or flooding, which can affect soil stability and create additional risks. For example, work is temporarily halted in the excavation during heavy rainfall to prevent soil collapse. Number 12, keep bystanders and unauthorized personnel away. Implement barriers or warning systems to prevent unauthorized individuals from entering the excavation area. For example, fencing and warning signs secure the excavation site, keeping unauthorized personnel at a safe distance. Number 13, train all workers on excavation safety. As you know, excavation is an hazardous activity. You need to ensure that all workers are adequately trained in excavation safety procedures and can operate protective systems correctly. For example, new employees receive comprehensive training on shoring techniques and excavation safety before working in deep excavations. Number 14, maintain equipment in good working order. As a safety officer, you need to regularly inspect and maintain all heavy machinery and equipment used in excavation to ensure proper functioning and safety. For example, a backhoe is routinely serviced and inspected to confirm its safety and reliability. But here you need to understand first, backhoe or machinery inspection is also first responsibility of the operator. Secondly, by the site supervisor. And the role of a safety practitioner is advisory. So don't put all the burden on a safety practitioner. Number 15, secure loose materials and tools. Properly secure loose materials, tools and equipment to prevent them from falling into the excavation. For example, loose soil is removed from the edge of the excavation to prevent accidental falls into the excavation. Number 16, manage groundwater and surface water. Dear friends and fellows, control and divert groundwater and surface water away from the excavation to maintain stability and prevent flooding. Otherwise, your shoring system may fail because of the soil removal due to water table behind the shoring sheets. For example, a dewatering system is used to manage groundwater and keep the excavation dry. Number 17, implement traffic control measures. Use traffic control measures to manage vehicular and pedestrian traffic near the excavation site, reducing the risk of collisions or falls. For example, traffic cones and barricades are set up around the excavation site to direct traffic away from the area. Number 18, have an emergency response plan in place. As a safety in charge, you need to develop an emergency response plan that outlines procedures for rescue and evacuation in the event of a cave-in or accident. For example, the emergency response plan specifies the steps to follow if a worker becomes trapped in the excavation. Point number 19. Promote open communication among workers. You need to encourage open and clear communication among team members and with supervisors regarding safety concerns and observations. For example, workers are encouraged to report any safety concerns they observe during daily toolbox meetings. Point number 20. Stop work immediately if unsafe conditions are detected. You need to empower workers, site supervisors, foremen or a charge hand to stop work immediately if they notice any unsafe conditions or practices without fear of reprisal. For example, a worker stops work when they notice a section of the trench wall starting to collapse, ensuring the safety of the workers working inside the trench. These safety control measures, when meticulously implemented, contributed to a safer work environment in deep excavations, protecting the well-being of workers and preventing accidents. You are on the platform of Safety First Life. Today, we are discussing about excavation safety, how to prevent excavation accidents, how to avoid strikes to underground utilities, how to manage hazardous atmospheres, how to control site traffic, and how to make and provide safe and easy access for equipment and pedestrians, how we can satisfy the requirements and the needs of the general public once we are working in a town. Safety precaution number 21. Utility marking and verification. Before excavation begins, contact utility companies to mark and verify the location of underground utilities to prevent accidental strikes. For example, a person should be dedicated, need to contact the local company to mark the positions of gas, water, and electric lines in the excavation area. Point number 22. Soil testing and analysis. A very important point. You need to conduct soil testing and analysis to assess soil conditions and determine the appropriate protective measures. For example, soil samples are taken and analyzed to determine the soil's composition, strength, and load-bearing capacity. Based on soil testing and analysis, you can develop a protective method for excavation on site. Point number 23. Pre-excavation safety meeting. As a project manager, as a safety in charge, you need to conduct a pre-excavation safety meeting to review safety procedures, roles, and responsibilities with all involved personnel. You need to check their competency, qualification, expertise, and experience. For example, before starting the excavation, the project manager gathers the crew for a safety briefing to discuss the day tasks and potential hazards. Point number 24. Spoil pile management. You need to safely manage spoil piles, the excavated soil or materials, to prevent them from collapsing back into the excavation. That's why it is recommended stockpiles should be dumped at least 3 feet away from the edge of the excavation. For example, if you will keep stockpiles on the edges of the trench excavation, it may cause falling back in due to surcharge load and collapsing of the excavation. Point number 25. Daily inspection records. As a safety supervisor, as an excavation in charge, you need to maintain detailed daily inspection records to document safety checks, any safety concerns, and actions taken to address them. For example, a dedicated safety log is maintained, recording the results of daily inspections and any safety issues identified. Point number 26. Fall protection systems. Install fall protection systems such as guardrails or safety nets when working near excavation edges openings. For example, workers use guardrails and safety harnesses when working near the edge of a deep trench. Point number 27, trench boxes and shoring inspections. As a safety supervisor or as a site engineer, you need to regularly inspect trench boxes and shoring systems to ensure they are in proper working condition and adequately protect workers. For example, before each use, a certified inspector checks the shoring system for signs of damage or wear. Here, one important point. A safety practitioner must inspect the third party certificate for trench boxes, whether it is valid or not. Point number 28, no surcharge policy. You need to implement a no surcharge policy to prevent heavy equipment or materials from being placed near the edges of the excavation. For example, workers are instructed not to place heavy machinery or materials close to the trench edge, ensuring its stability. Point number 29, adequate lighting. Provide adequate lighting in and around the excavation to enhance visibility and reduce the risk of trips and falls. For example, portable lighting units are used to illuminate the excavation site during nighttime work. The last point, point number 30, periodic safety training. As a safety practitioner, you need to conduct periodic safety training sessions to keep workers informed about the latest safety protocols, procedures, equipment, and regulations. For example, workers participate in annual safety refresher courses to stay updated on excavation safety practices. These additional safety control measures further enhance worker safety in deep excavations, helping to prevent accidents and maintain a secure working environment. Dear friends and fellows, preventing excavation cave-ins and collapses is paramount in ensuring the safety and well-being of workers involved in construction projects. These incidents pose severe risks, including entrapment, injuries, and even fatalities. Excavation sites are inherently susceptible to such hazards due to the nature of the work, involving the removal of earth and soil to create trenches or foundations. The potential for catastrophic accidents, particularly cave-ins, arises when the walls of these excavations are improperly supported or when the soil structure is unstable. That's why it's important to adopt protective strategies to prevent these hazards. Is not just a legal obligation, but a moral imperative to safeguard human lives. The best possible strategies to prevent excavation cave-ins and collapses encompass a comprehensive approach that begins with meticulous planning and assessment of the excavation site. This involves thorough soil analysis, understanding the site-specific conditions, and choosing appropriate protective measures such as shoring or sloping. Additionally, extensive training in excavation safety protocols ensures that the workers are equipped to identify potential risks and respond effectively in emergencies. Regular maintenance of equipment, clear communication among team members, and a strong safety culture further fortify these strategies, emphasizing the collective responsibility to uphold safety standards and mitigate risks inherent in deep excavation work. That's all for now. Stay blessed and safe. Follow safety to protect yourself and your fellow workers. Good luck and goodbye.